Hi guys, so today in class we're doing a puzzle activity. So it's you're working in a group, but if you're at home, you're going to do this on this PDF. So our first one is it takes 1/3 of an hour to make 2 batches of cookies. How long would it take to make 1 batch of cookies? I need to lock that in place. There we go. So I'm going to start by making my table. There we go. Okay, so I'm comparing cookies to hours. So I can make 2 batches of cookies in 1/3 of an hour. And they're asking me how long would it take to make 1 batch of cookies. All right, so just as a reminder, you divide going up, multiply coming down. So I'm doing 1 divided by 2. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So I'm going to keep, change, flip. So 1/1 times 1/2, and I get 1/2. So I'm dividing by 1/2, so I'm going to multiply by 1/2. So now I'm doing 1/3 times 1/2. And I get 1/6. So my answer is 1/6 of an hour for 1 batch. All right, the next one says, Peter can run 2 miles in 1/3 of an hour. What is Peter's running rate in miles per hour? So I'm comparing hours to miles. He can run 2 miles in 1/3 of an hour. And they want to know how far he can run in 1 hour. So again, I'm dividing going this way. So I'm going to multiply coming this way. So I know that I'm doing 1/1 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to keep, change, flip, 1/1 times 3/1, and I get 3. So I'm going to divide by 3, so I multiply by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So he can run 6 miles in 1 hour. All right, the next one says, a giant aquarium tank is being filled with water. After 2 1/4 hours, the tank is 2/3 of the way full. At this rate, how much of the tank will get full each hour? So I have my full and I have my hours. So it's 2 1/4 hour, and it's 2/3 of the way full. Yep, 2/3 of the way full. They want to figure out how much it gets filled each hour, so the 1 goes there. So I'm going to divide going up, multiply coming down. So I'm doing 1 divided by 2 and 1/4. So I'm going to go around the world. So 2 times 4 plus 1. So I have 1 divided by 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9/4. So then I keep change flip, 1 over 1 times 4 over 9, and I get 4/9. So if I divide by 4/9, I'm going to multiply by 4/9. So now I'm doing 2/3 times 4/9. So 2 times 2 is 4, not 4, good go, Katie. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 9 is 27. So the tank, 8/27 of the tank fills each hour. All right, the next one says a pitcher of lemonade calls for 2 1/4 cups of lemon juice and 2/3 of a cup of sugar. How many cups of lemon juice should be used for each cup of sugar? So 2 1/4. So I have lemon and sugar, 2 1/4 for 2/3, right? Yep. So they want each cup of sugar, yep. So the 1 goes in this column. So I'm going to divide going up and multiply coming down. So I'm doing 1 divided by 2 over 3. So keep change flip, 1 times 2, I didn't flip it, 3 over 2, and I get 3 over 2. So I'm multiplying by 3/2 because I divided by 3/2. So now I'm doing 2 1/4 times 3 over 2. So I have to go around the world with my fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I have 9/4 times 3/2. So it's really important to notice that I'm changing it from a mixed number to an improper fraction before I multiply. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 2 is 8. I have to ask myself, how many times does 8 go into 27? 3. 3 times 8 is 24, with 3/8 left over, because 27 minus 24 is 3, and I keep my denominator. So I need 3 3/8. Was it cups? Yep. Cups of lemon juice for each cup of sugar. All right, the next one says Penny is knitting a scarf for her toddler. She completes 1/6 of the scarf in 3/4 of an hour. How long will it take Penny to knit 1 scarf? So I have my scarf, and I have my hour. I know that she has 1/6 of a scarf in, I think it was 3/4 of an hour. Yep, 3/4 of an hour. And she wants to make 1 whole scarf. So we're going to divide going up and multiply coming down. So 1 divided by 1/6. So remember, you keep change flip. 1 over 1 times 6 over 1, and we get 6 over 1. So that's just 6. So I divide by 6, so I'm going to multiply by 6. So now I have 3/4 times 6 over 1. I get 18 over 4. Then I have to think 4 goes into 18 how many times? 4. 4 goes into 18 4 times with 2/4 left over. And then if I want to reduce that further, I can say 4 1/2. So when they're asking me what that means, 1 scarf can be made in 4.5 hours. All right, Max downloads a new game. After 3/4 of an hour, he notices that only 1/6 of the entire game has been downloaded. At this rate, how much of the entire game will be downloaded per hour? So we have hours. And we have download. So I know in 3/4 of an hour, there's 1/6 of the game. I want to know how much is going to be downloaded after an hour. So I divide going up, multiply coming down. So 1 divided by 3/4. So I keep, change, flip. 1/1 times 4/3, and I get 4/3. So if I divide by 4/3, I'm going to multiply by 4/3. So now I'm doing 1/6 times 4/3. I get 4/18, and I can reduce that by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2, and I get 2/9. So 2/9 of the game will be downloaded in 1 hour. All right, so that's the first one. So now I'm going to do the second one. It says Janet is working on a research paper. She completes 2.5 pages in 1 1/3 hour. At this rate, how many pages can Janet complete in 1 hour? So again, I've got my table. So I've got hours and pages. So 2.5 pages in 1 1/3 hours. I want to figure out in 1 hour. So I'm going to divide going up, multiply coming down. So I have 1 divided by 1 1/3. So I've got to go around the world with my fraction. 1 divided by 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so that's 4/3. So I keep, change, flip, 1/1 times 3/4, and I get 3/4. So if I divide by 3/4, I have to multiply by 3/4. So now I'm going to do 2.5 times 3/4. So again, I have to go around the world. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, because I'm changing from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So I get 15/16. So my answer is, in 1 hour, oh wait, I changed that denominator, because that didn't make sense. I changed the denominator to a 4. That denominator should be a 2, which changes my answer here. That should be an 8. So now I have to think, okay, how many times does 8 go into 15? 1 whole time. 15 minus 8 leaves me with 7 out of 8 parts. So in 1 hour, she can write 1 7/8 pages. All right, the next one says Bob works as a sous chef in a restaurant. He can cut 1 1/3 onions in 2.5 minutes. At this rate, how many onions can be cut in 1 minute? So I have minutes and onions. I know that he can cut 1 1/3 onions in 2.5 minutes, right? So they want to know how long for 1 onion. So I'm going to divide going this way, multiply coming down. So that's 1 divided by 2.5. So that's 1 divided by 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 5/2. So now I'm going to keep, change, flip, 1 times 2/5, and I get 2/5. So now I'm going to multiply 1 1/3 times 2/5. I have to go around the world before I can multiply. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so I have 4/3 here. Then I multiply straight across, so I get 8/15. So in 1 minute, he can cut 8/15 of an onion. We only have a couple more. It says a muffin recipe requires 3/4 of a cup of flour and 2/3 of a cup of sugar. So we're comparing flour and sugar. I know that I have 2/3 of a cup of flour, 3/4 of a cup. All right, how many cups of sugar do you need for each cup of flour? I divide going up, multiply coming down. So I'm doing 1 divided by 3/4. One over 1 times 4/3, because I have to keep change flip. I get 4/3. So now I'm going to do 2/3 times 4/3. And I get 8/9. So I need 8/9 of a cup of sugar. For each cup of flour. All right. It says Tracy goes for a walk. She can walk 2/3 of a trail in 3/4 of an hour. How many hours will it take Tracy to complete an entire lap? So I have hours and trail. So 2/3, and that takes her 3/4 of an hour. And she wants to do the 1 lap, so I put the 1 over there. I divide going up, multiply coming down. So 1 divided by 2/3. So keep change flip. I get 3/2. So if I divide by 3/2, I have to multiply by 3/2. So now I'm doing 3/4 times 3/2. And I get 9/8. 8 goes into 9 one whole time. 9 minus 8 is 1, and I keep my denominator. So it's going to take 1 1/8 hour to make 1 lap on the trail. All right, a package of ground beef that weighs 2 1/5 pounds costs $6.40. What is the unit price per pound? So I have my cost and I have my pounds. So it costs $6.40 for 2 1/5. I want it per pound, so I want to know for 1 pound. So I divide going up. I'm going to multiply coming down. So 1/1 divided by 2/5, 2 1/5. So I have to go around the world. 2 times 5 is 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So that's 1/1 times 11/5. I'm sorry, divided by. Then I have to keep change flip. 1/1 times 5/11. Okay, So now I'm going to do $6.40 times 5/11. So I have to think what that really means. That means 6 4/10 times 5/11. So I have to go around the world, change my fraction into a mixed number. So 6 times 10 is 60 plus 4 is 64. So I have 64 over 10. I'm multiplying across. Then I have to think, how many times does 110 go into 320? And I get 100 left over. So 2 and 10/11. So $2.10. I would have to have a calculator for that. Is the cost for 1 pound. I wouldn't have to have a calculator, but I would have to do long division, and I don't want to do that right now. So $2.10 of a dollar is the cost per pound. Last one, it says it takes $6.40 to fill and seal 2 1/5 bags of popcorn at a factory. At this rate, how much popcorn can be filled and sealed in per second? So per means for 1. So we're comparing seconds to popcorn. So I know in 6.4 seconds, they get 2 1/5 bags. I want to figure out what it is per second. So I'm going to divide going this way, multiply coming down. So 1 over 1 divided by remember how we talked about how this is 6 4/10? So I have to go around the world. 6 times 10 is 60 plus 4 is 64. So 1 over 1 times 64 over 10. Then I'm going to go 1 over 1 times 10 over 64. So from here, I know that it's 10 over 64. So now I'm going to do 2 1/5 times 10 over 64. I have to go around the world. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. So I have 11/5 times 10 over 64. So I have 110 and then 64 times 5 is 320. Then I get 11 over 32 because I can divide both by 10. So that means I can get 11 30-seconds of a bag per second. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Complete your cool down. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.